Yeah. Motherfuckers better know. This motherfucker hold his heat back, baby. All these motherfuckers better know.
When I started doing animation, the first thing I ever animated was, I called it Office Space. It was Milton and what became Lumbergh in a movie. Milton, when I did the animated one, was loosely based on my first engineering job. There was this guy, he's kind of an odd guy. If I recall, he had a mail-order bride from, I think, the Philippines, and no one ever talked to him, and one day I was kind of bored. I went over and just said, you know, hey, how's it going? And he just launched into this thing about how he was going to quit because they moved his desk 3 times. I just recorded a monologue of myself doing Milton, the thing about moving the desk, and I animated that, and that became my first short.
Yeah, that would be terrific. Well...
When Gary Cole came in and read, that was a good day, because I was on the fence about making the movie. He came in and read, and I was just like, oh my God, if nothing else, if I get this guy on camera doing that character, that'll be worth it.
I'm also going to need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too, okay?
I was really happy with the cast I got.
My Lumbergh was based on a rip-off of the cartoon, which basically was a rip-off of Mike Judge. So I went in and did my greatest, attempt at an imitation of Mike Judge.
You know, at that time there was a lot of people doing films and stuff with an Indian character or a Middle Eastern character or a guy from there. And we talked a little bit about how it was important to make Samir really specific. You know, so we talked about Jordan.
I would relax. I would sit on my ass all day. I would do nothing.
I think Peter's trying to figure it all out. When I read the script, the thing that jumped out was, here's a guy that's like constantly searching for answers.
I was asking what you were doing for lunch. Would you like to have lunch with me?
Every time he finds one, he's sure that he's found, the key to nirvana, and he throws himself in it wholeheartedly.
I just came to get my address book. I'm not gonna stay. I got a phone number, Mike, that I don't want to lose.
What?
And then when it doesn't work out, it doesn't deter him from, throwing himself wholeheartedly into the next one, Where all of a sudden being a construction worker is gonna be,
He is like so pure. You know what I mean? And so awesome, and such of a handsome, real guy. He's completely sticking up for, like, the ugly guys, and, like, completely sticking up for his friends.
So you're gonna fire Michael and Samir, and you're gonna give me more money?
And you want to be like, yeah, man, lead me. He's the president.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of being pushed around. Aren't you?
Yes, Peter. But I'm not going to do anything illegal.
Illegal? Samir, this is America.
Honestly, I kind of saw my job on this one as kind of being a bus driver a little bit. You just drive to the next stop and open the door, and somebody funny gets on. And
I gotta get out of here. I think I'm gonna lose it.
Uh-oh. Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
I sort of felt like Peter's job was to kind of get the audience from this scene to that scene, and then it was other people's jobs to come in and, like, make the scenes great.
The 7-Eleven, right? You'd take a penny from the tray.
From the crippled children?
No, that's the jar. I'm talking about the tray. The pennies for everybody.
Oh, for everybody. Okay.
Fight Club would be the movie that Peter Gibbons in his head, he thinks he's in.
Started living for the Lord and I last. Now all I gotta say to you, one of you is gonna be crumb snatching, coochie eating pranksters.
I love Kung Fu.
Channel 39.
Totally.
You should come over and watch Kung Fu tonight.
Okay.
The character, I was thinking of these girls who, beautiful loser types. They hung out in the smoking area in high school and got a job.
Everything to Joanna is just like, huh, okay, that's great. She's a little bit of a stoner chick.
Not very ambitious.
I thought it was really smart of her not to play her as, the blow-drying glamour queen.
You know what, Stan? If you want me to wear 37 pieces of flair like your pretty boy over there, Brian, why don't you just make the minimum 37 pieces of flair?
But she's just basically, a really sweet, pretty girl that works over there and is trying to work out her own stuff.
I do want to express myself. Okay? And I don't need 37 pieces of flair to do it.
It was probably tough for her because there's, these expectations, you know, and I didn't really think about it going in it because I'd met her before, and she was really pretty low key in person. And so when I put her in this, I hadn't really prepared myself for how much attention it would draw to just that. Oh, what's she playing? What, you know, every question being about her.
Oh, I just don't know if this was such a good idea.
Yeah, well, maybe it wasn't such a good idea for you to sleep with Lumberg.
What? What are you... Oh, right, Lumberg.
She's this because, you know, she's like, oh, she's the star. And, you know, she brings us up to her. You know, we come with her, but she didn't approach it like that. She approached it like we were all very dignified, hardcore players.
Oh, I love being part of an ensemble. I love it. There's so much to play off of, and especially this movie, the characters are so bizarre and distinct and fun.
What do you think of a person who only does the bare minimum?
Amazing, amazing timing, and it's the kind of timing, you know, Mary Tyler Moore too. It's the kind of timing where it's not real show-offy. You know what I mean? It's just like things fall.
How dare you judge me? I mean, what are you? You think you're some kind of, like, angel here? No, you're just this penny-stealing, wannabe criminal man.
It's hard to be in a scene with her and not be funny.
She's really hot, but she also looks like a girl that you could believe would live in your neighborhood or went to your high school. She's got domestic hotness.
I was a little starstruck, to be honest. I hid it for about 2 days. I kept it real cool for about 2 days of rehearsal, you know, and then I caved, then I cracked.
Hey, Peter, man! Check out Channel 9!
Yeah. That's it. That's exactly what I need. Uh-huh. Yeah, give it to me. Come on, you little fucker. Let's go. That's what I need. Let's do that. Let's do exactly that, you little fuck.
I love when he's playing angry, and he's also just good at, you know, he can be a good kind of weenie guy. And
I must have put a decimal point in the wrong place or something. Shit, I always do that. I always mess up some mundane detail.
There really isn't an office that doesn't have that guy, right? I mean, or several of those guys. I mean, especially the worse the conditions are, the more somebody's got to be like, I'm so much better than this place. I mean, he should have his own software company, at the very least. And I mean, he believes he's right at that moment, too.
He always gives you something really realistic. His instincts are so good, he's not going to allow himself to do anything hacky.
Here it is. To conceal the source of money as by channeling it through an intermediary.
He's insanely brilliant, and his contradictions are inherent in the way he plays, you know what I mean? He's always playing this but that.
Anyway, let's get down to business, Michael. You know, you can just call me Mike.
All his backbone, all his convictions, just out the window. Out the window. He's just got to eat it all.
I told those fudge packers I like Michael Bolton's music.
I never thought of him as a nerd. I really focused on his anger.
PC load letter? What the fuck does that mean?
Every time that the Case of the Mondays woman would walk by, I'd be giving her the finger and stuff like that. And I think none of that made it in, but there was a lot of stuff on the fringes.
Bolton doesn't give a shit anyway, you know what I mean? That kid's a full-on gangster.
I've got my pistol point cocked, ready to link shots non-stop until I see your monkey ass drop.
So, like, you know, if he wears these short shirts and these weird nerdy kind of ties and stuff like that, I don't think he's even really thinking about what he's wearing. You know, I think he's thinking about how he wants to, like, be down.
Yeah, well, I work at Initech and I don't consider myself a pussy, okay?
Yes, I am also not a pussy.
Fact, they're gonna find out the hard way that I'm not a pussy if they don't start treating their software people better.
I can't believe they have security escort us out. Like we're going to steal something.
Samir knows that he's been dogged out. He inherently has this thing against the company, too. Just like everyone there, looking for a chance, viciously looking for a chance to screw it back to them.
One of these days, I just kick this piece of shit out the window.
So I always thought Samir was a really cool cat who wants to, like, really make good in America. You know, I'll tell you what I'd do if I had that money. You know, I call my friends. His real big contradiction in the movie is that, like, you know, he's not going to do the scam unless he gets to have sex.
I have a question.
Yes.
In these conjugal visits, you can have sex with women?
Yep, you sure can.
Okay, I'll do it. Shit! This is a fuck! Son of a... bitch! Shit!
Jay is a brilliant guy. He actually grew up in, I think, mostly Chicago. And he's like a hip-hop guy. He's part of a hip-hop group. He breakdances.
I've always been a breakdancer. I've always been like a raver and a houser. And so he's like, can you please do something in the movie? And I was like, oh, I don't know if Samir would. He's like, no, man, Samir would do it. You know what I mean? Not only that, that's who he is, really.
Back up in your ass with the resurrection.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
He can be intimidating because he's always just, and that really worked for those scenes. When he says he loves Michael Bolton, you don't want to rain on his parade.
I love his music. I do. I'm a Michael Bolton fan. I celebrate the guy's entire catalog.
God, there's probably endless footage of him talking about, you know, Bolton's softball videos and Bolton's this, and like he just goes, yeah, I celebrate the whole catalog.
Have you had a chance to pick up the opera album yet? Stunning. Yeah. Very emotional. I dare you to listen to that song and not cry. And not cry. Not gonna happen.
Could I let you all in on a crazy thing? I love Michael Bolton so much that a couple of years ago when the How to Hit for Power of Softball video came out, I snagged it. I love the haircut. I love the way he's taken his career. I'm gonna say something right now, and I mean every syllable of it. I think he's one of the most significant performers on the planet, outright.
He's the man.
It's out of sight.
The thing that's funny is McGinley actually talks like that. He'll say, I celebrate. He came back a second time to read with the other guy, and he was just like, let's fucking shoot this thing. Come on, let's do it. Like, give me the part. And he was on the plane flying down to Austin. He's like, I can hardly wait to get down there and just beat the shit out of those little punks. They're talking about the David Herman and talking about doing the scene, and he's just, you know, he's one of those actors that just can't wait for the camera to roll. He just wants to go do it.
There's an element of danger that, that's why, you know, that's why Oliver Stone, I think, just utilized McGinley so much.
What would you say you do here?
He's got a living snake up his ass. He's got a living snake. He's just like charged.
Yeah, that little thing, he kind of, we noticed that, you know, when we were editing, we were very careful to put that little thing he does in there. He's just got all this anger and he's trying to control it.
The pleasure's all on this side of the table, trust me.
Hey, Peter, man! Check out Channel 9, check out this chick!
Hey, man. Dietrich and I, as soon as we started talking about the character, he always got it. Like, in rehearsal, actually added some stuff he came up with. We didn't have a lot of time to rehearse. He came that day, and we rehearsed for a few minutes, half hour maybe before we shot. But in that time, came up with a lot of good stuff, like the thing with he's got his own opener.
That's all right, I got it.
I think the stuff about take a look at my cousin, that was added.
Well, you don't need $1 million to do nothing, man. Take a look at my cousin. He's broke, don't do shit.
The thing that I love that he does so perfectly is this thing that guys do when they come to your house to, like a plumber or whatever. They do this kind of, well, what I went ahead and did was, I went ahead and replaced the whole unit, okay? He does it a little bit when he says,
yeah, I'm doing the drywall up there at the new McDonald's.
He did that, and he also got perfectly the two chicks at the same time.
I'll tell you what I'd do, man. 2 chicks at the same time, man.
Eventually, yeah, we ended up thinking that the best way to go is that he's really sincere. He cares about him. That's his dumb advice.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
Okay, Lawrence.
It's kind of scary when I think, you know, a lot of these guys I found at the last second.
You used to be addicted to crack?
Yeah.
Make sure you wear rubber, dude. Rubber, dude.
We always like to avoid confrontation whenever possible.
I'm very sorry. I do not know anything about any money laundering.
Did you get that memo? Memo?
All right, Peter.
Seems to be working now.
Kick someone's ass or become someone's bitch.
Wow, that's messed up.
Have you always told that if I was late again, I would be there late?
Milton Wadhams.
Who's he? You know, squirrely looking guy, mumbles a lot.
I didn't see a whole movie in just the Milton character because he's one of those types of characters where you kind of don't want to know what happens when he's at home, and you know, it's kind of funnier if you just get the tip of the iceberg.
Could you turn that down just a little bit?
Well, I was told that I could listen to the radio at a reasonable volume from 9 to 11.
Yeah, no, I know you're allowed to.
And